routine, but however, we want to go ahead and get our TKES process in gear. So I have to do a teacher orientation, then you all have to do a pre-assessment, and then we have to do a pre-conference. So between today and Thursday, we want to get all this stuff done. So we'll do our quick teacher orientation, and then you all can do your pre-assessment. If you go to TKES, if you don't remember anything I say, as far as if you go to your TKES and go to user guide, if you don't remember like how to do the orientation I say and then your self-assessment, it'll give you just a quick step, which I'll go over it, but it'll give you a quick step on how to do it. All right, right quick. Teacher orientation for the TKES effectiveness system, which is TKES. We'll just introduce the 3 components and then what the expectations are. We'll talk about the standards and the rubric. All right, here are the components of the teacher keys. You got, and then what the breakdown as far as the evaluation is concerned, how they broke it down into percentages. Now, just if you got any questions, just raise your hand. So you got your assessment, performance standards, which is 50%, professional growth is 20%, and student growth is 30%, with the student growth percentiles and the non-percentiles, meaning we got SLOs. All right, here are your keys. Your standards is planning, professional knowledge, instructional plan, instructional delivery, talking about your strategies and how we differentiate. Then assessments and for learning, the assessment strategies, that's 5 and 6. Your learning environment, whether it's positive, academically challenging, and then professionalism and communication, okay? A lot of times when we come in the room, we can see 3, 4, 7, and 8. Those are the things that we can see, you know, right away when we come in the room. The rest of them, instructional plan, of course, is the, you know, we'll get that information mostly from your lesson plans and then your professional knowledge. And then a lot of the other stuff we'll see as the year progresses, okay? When we come in the room every day, we can see 3, 4, 7, and 8. Those are things we can see when we walk in the room. All right, here is the, talk about the domain. Here's the performance standard. Here's some of the indicators that we'll be looking for. And here's the rubric, okay? So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And you can, like I said, you can go to that and revisit if you want to refamiliarize yourself with these, or those of you that's new, if you want to take your time and dig more into it. But like for an example, engage in active learning, engage students in active learning and maintain interest, build upon students' existing knowledge and skills, reinforce learning goals consistently throughout the lesson. That's one of the other reasons why we went to this inquiry-based learning, because it covers, just in the way that it is set up with the E's, it covers most of these standards and domains. All right, that's your performance standard, professional knowledge, so where you just demonstrate an understanding of your curriculum. A lot of that will come from just what we observe, what you have in your lesson plans, and things like that. All right, instructional planning. That's a breakdown of your instructional planning. Can y'all see that? All right, instructional planning. That's kind of a breakdown of what we'll be looking for. All right, and instructional strategies, just based on the different strategies that's relevant, whether students are engaged or not, and things of that nature. Differentiated instruction, you know, we have those differentiation days built in by department. So based on your formative assessments, that's how you build in whatever the differentiation you need. And then your assessment strategies, formative assessment, summative, things of that nature. And then the assessment's usage, how do you gather, analyze data, and things of that nature. Of course, that's based on your formatives, how you analyze that data, and that's what, you know, gives you an idea of what you need to teach or what you need to plan. Positive learning environment, well-managed, safe, orderly, conducive to learning. A positive learning environment, you know, I know sometimes we have steps in our discipline, like 1 hour, for example, and things like that. So students cannot disrupt the learning environment. Please don't let students disrupt your learning environment. If you redirected them a couple times and they continue to disrupt the learning environment, you know, we still want to call and contact parents and stuff like that, but if you need to get rid of them, you shouldn't spend 10 or 15 minutes trying to redirect a student, and then the other ones are missing out on what they need to learn. So get them to 1 hour and get them on out of there. All right, academically challenging environment. Is it student-centered? And is it at a high level? Professionalism, you know, that's a year-long thing. Duties, dress, being professional to your colleagues, just doing what you're supposed to do. That's something that'll be observed throughout the year as well. And then communication. You know, keep up with your communication with your parents. And I'm talking about communication other than the gimmies. You know we have parent night. You know, that's a gimme. You know, we know before parent night, we do parent letters. You know, that's a gimme. I'm talking about stuff other than that to keep parents involved in the process. Another thing is making sure that your parent portal, we're getting our our grades and things in the parent portal, because parents look at that parent portal. I'm a parent, I look at the parent portal. And the one thing we don't need is, I'm looking at the parent portal, and then all of a sudden they get close to report card and all these grade changes. I'm thinking my daughter's got an A, and then all of a sudden these grade changes happen the day before a report card, and all of a sudden it's dropped to a C. So that needs to make sure those parent portals are updated, because they do look at those, and what we put in there is what they go on. All right, here's the flow process. We're doing the orientation. Once we finish the orientation, we'll do the self-assessment. Then on Thursday, when we have our faculty meeting again, we'll do our pre-evaluation conference. Okay, then we get into the observations and the documentation. And this is kind of the month, this is kind of the time frame right here. And then you got your summative performance evaluation, which will happen sometime in April or May, and then your summative conference. So that's kind of the flow process. We were all, they came out with a full and a flex, and that's more for administrators, the time that administrators complain about, you know, being out the classroom and stuff like that. That full or flex has nothing to do with you all, but our administration, everybody be on the full plan. Because we're gonna be out in those rooms, and it's not out of those rooms to get you, it's out of those rooms to support you, because the more the administration is seen, it will help with discipline, and it will help with assist you all in anything that you need. But as far as I told the administration, for us, there's no flex. All of us will be on the full, so you'll see us a lot. All right, that's just, that's just like I said, the process we're doing now. Here's the self-assessment, and like I said, you can go to the guide, and this will step you through how do you do the self-assessment. And basically, it's an assessment on how you think you're going to do on each one of the performance standards. You just go in there and assess yourself 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then that's what I was talking about. This is the full. This is the one that we'll be on. So we'll do at least 3 conferences, at least 2 formative assessments that consist of 4 walkthroughs, 2 formative observations, documentation, and a summative. Okay. Okay, that's the formative process again. That's the full TAPS. That's the full process again. We'll skip that. Here's the examples of the different documentation, like I hit earlier, just some of the documentations that we'll be looking for. And here's the performance ratings. So it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. Like I said, you can go to the user's guide and you can read these a little bit more. But this is the rubric. This is what we're looking for. Either you're inadequately demonstrating it, you're inconsistently, consistently, or continuously. And then that's the summative assessment. That's what you'll get at the end, and then of course you'll have the summative conference with me. All right, then professional growth. You know, we have the professional growth. You know, we started this last year with professional learning goals. Okay, last year, Dr. Hinton kind of gave everybody she told me to give everybody a goal. I checked them. You know, some of us loaded artifacts, some of us didn't, some of us had them, some of us didn't have enough. But this year, you make sure whatever your professional learning growth is, we'll get those forms out to you. You can be kind of deciding what it is that your professional growth is going to be. And we agreed to at least 2, if we do at least 2 artifacts a month, at the end of the month, we should have enough artifacts. And y'all know, you go to conferences, you go to, if it's RESA, it's something that's dealing with your professional growth, all of that stuff counts, okay? If you do a video, you just do a quick synopsis of what you learned with the video, and then you attach the link, and then whatever your synopsis is. Any questions on professional learning? This is not optional. You need to do this. All right. This takes the place. Remember, we used to do the PLUs. This is what took the place of the PLUs. So this goes straight to professional standards for your certification or recertification. All right. Some other stuff about professional growth. Again, it's got to do it's a recertification requirement. It can extend, so if you're doing one that you want to continue, you can do that, or you can start a new one. So if you're doing one last year and you want to continue it, you can do that. And then student growth, all right, student growth percentiles, you know, that's the thing that they've been going back and forth with, trying to get it all together. But here's what the student growth, what it measures. Students measure against, how much growth is enough, and what does it tell us about instruction. That's 30%. All right, of course, those that are non-courses, you have the SLOs, student learning objectives, or other similar pre and post tests. I think CTAE has another type as well. All right, you know, we do our verification rosters. We do that periodically through the year. We'll continue doing that. And then students must attend at least 90% of your course in order for them to test and be held against your teacher effectiveness measures, which is TIMS. All right, again, professional learning for recertification. Again, some more stuff about professional learning. Professional learning plans and remediation plans. Read those and it'll tell you which one you are, because it's got something like students, teachers, 1 to 3 years is on one, 3 or more years is on one, or if you're on some kind of PDP or something, then you'll be on one. If you're not sure which one, ask one of us administrators, and we'll point you in the right direction. All right, there it is. Learning goals and learning plans. That's the difference between the two. This one, like I said, if you're new, I think it's this one, and then if you're on some type of remedial plan, or your summative rating is below proficient, then you do this one. This one is just designed to enhance your professional performance. You see, they got a lot in this slide about professional learning goals. Professional learning plans. All right, these are the people that do the professional learning plan. If you meet one of these categories, okay, teaching out of field, a new position, out of profession for a period of time, moving to the state, evaluation performance of needs development, ineffective, unsatisfactory. That comes from reading your summary, so you should know that if that happens. But those are the ones that do the professional learning plans. Anyone received a rating, it must be reported to the PSC. You do a professional learning plan for remediation. All right, PLCs, we will get back to our professional learning communities. We'll be back consistent between us and the IFs. We'll get back consistent with these special learning communities, especially with us needing more training on this inquiry-based learning. All right, I know there's a lot of questions still, what it looks like, and stuff like that. So we'll train you all, start getting back to those professional learning communities. What we'll do it in conjunction with the IFs. We'll get with the IFs, see what they're doing, and then if we have time to interject doing that, we will, or we'll have a separate one, all together. That's talking about your recertification with your professional learning. All right. Any questions on orientation? Again, you go to that user's guide. I need you to go to your orientation and click saying that you had your orientation, those of you that's here, and then just click accept. Whenever we need to click off on something, please make sure that you go in there and click. Please make sure that you go in there and click. Whenever we need to click off on something like this orientation, make sure those of you that's in the room go and say that you had your orientation, and then go on in there and do your self-assessment. You can go to the user's guide again. You can go to the user's guide, and then you can do your self-assessment. And at the end of your self-assessment, again, we just save and exit. All right, any questions on that? All right, just some quick housekeeping stuff. Please do not send students to the front office during morning announcement, because we lock that door. If you set them up before morning announcement, they're not going to do anything but congregate out in the hallway. So if it's something that they just have to come to the office, please wait till after the announcements. You all should have received a book in your mailbox. That's for a book study. We're still going to work out the logistics on how we're going to fit that in. Anybody don't have a book? Everybody has a book. I know a couple of them was left on the counter. You left yours on the counter. Make sure you come back and get it. We're going to be checked. Don't be like the guy that a couple years ago, he talked to everybody into burning their books. The school was having a book study, and he talked to everybody into burning their books. And then when they had the meeting, everybody had to bring their books, everybody burned theirs. He's sitting there with his. And he didn't convince everybody to burn theirs. He didn't even burn his. Everybody got in trouble but him. Yeah, so don't yeah, that didn't happen with us, but it did happen. All right. Talk about PLCs and everything. Remember the PO process, the purchase order. If you need something, you must do a requisition first. So don't wait till the last minute. You must do a requisition, get it to Ms. Parker, and give her time to process the PO, because I have to approve it. Please don't go out and purchase something without going through that process. Especially first. first period. We got these girls, we have to check them. If you're not sure, just say, honey, young man, I'm not sure about the dress code. I need you to go to the office and just give them a little form and just put on there, not sure, then we'll check it. We got all kind of dresses. They got the new ones with the little loop on the side now. So if you're not sure, please send them.
Also, I've seen, and I asked Erica about this right when school started, polo shirts, I think especially for girls, you see them with a little stripe around the collar.
Right, it's gotta be solid.
Yeah.
So please send them up. We have shirts.
If you're not careful.
That's right, we have shirts. And if they got on jackets, y'all, that's a dead giveaway. Something is not right. Make them look at it. Don't just walk by. They have a jacket on. Because we're gonna start just sending y'all an email saying, because you know we know things happen, so we'll just send you an email asking, tell us why, and they might not have come to your class, but we need to check. We got to get on this dress code. If we start early, then it's not a problem that keeps reoccurring. We're not dealing with dress code all year. And remember, we're still doing a just quick check. We're still doing our formative assessments. We're not doing our weekly data briefings, because with this new thing, we want to give you an opportunity to incorporate that into what it is that you're doing every day. Thank you for all that you do. And if you haven't signed in, please sign in. Thank you. We will have